Hello everyone, I'm Huiyun Tang, a PhD student from University of Luxembourg. I'm very happy here today to present our work on behalf of our colleagues. Breaking the news, taking the roles of influencer with journalist in an LLM-based game for raising misinformation awareness. Misinformation is harmful both to individual and society. One promising way to combat this problem is game-based interventions, usually following the inoculation approach. The idea is similar to vaccination, which is expose people to a weak form of misinformation in a controlled environment, so that they are better to prepare when they encounter the real things later. Currently, most of these games fall into two main approaches. First, player takes the role of misinformation producer, creating misleading posts to gain likes and followers. Second, the fact-checker, cutting suspicious posts and trying to verify or debunk them. However, most current interventions are designed as single-player games, as with limited predefined choices. This reduces replayability and may lead to an overly simplistic understanding of misinformation phenomenon and the debunking process. Motivated by this, we propose our research questions. We first designed an innovative game to answer our research questions. My colleague Songqi will present the design.
In this game, participants either create or debunk misinformation, aiming to influence public opinion represented by the large language model. This is the figure of the game interface. In Section A, players can view the current round news and all previous information published by both players in the broadcast panel. Section B is the public opinion part, showing the LLM simulate public's reactions to the player's information. In Section C, players can view instructions by hints and add their information in the text editing area. Finally, each player can view their own holdings of in-game currency in Section D, which can be used to purchase hints. This is the screen recording of the game. Player 1 starts first as an influencer to generate misinformation when the game begins. Player 1 can use in-game instructions and purchase hints to create content. After sending information to the OpenAI API, both players receive the public opinion response. Player 1 can click each circle to view the public opinion on their information. Player 2 then counters Player 1's misinformation, following the same process as Player 1. Upon receiving the response, the round ends and moves on to the remaining rounds.
To test the effectiveness of game and answer our research questions, we run a mixed master study. Participants were split in two groups. The intervention group played our game for about 1 hour in pairs. The control group spent the same time passively reading their social media posts maybe contain misinformation. Everyone completed the same validated questionnaires in 10 to 7 days before the session, and then again right after the session. After a short break, everyone repeated the questionnaire, and we conducted same structured interviews to understand the perception and experience of the game. Now to the results. We found both groups showed a reliable increase in the intention to verify information. Even passive exposure to misinformation nudged people towards wanting to fact-check more. However, when it comes to the actual ability to detect misinformation, we only see the improvements in the game group. We also found the game significantly improved players' general media literacy. However, it didn't show substantial improvement in people's ability to create and share reliable content. After analyzing game log data and interviews, players has been found frequently using the following ways to identify misinformation in the gameplay. First, they will check if posts come from trustworthy or suspicious outlet, and then they will try to identify the emotional manipulations in the message, like fears, anger, and then they will also critical question the motivations behind the message. We also found that this game mechanics could contribute to the learning effect. First, the in-game news. Many participants think is reflecting the real-world misinformation, which helps them to understand the characteristics of misinformation. Secondly, the PvP mechanics, because players had to identify flaws in the opponent message and respond effectively, thus reinforce the misinformation detection skills. Third, we found the LLM stimulated personas were very engaging. Many participants found their response really engaging, and the dynamic replies improved the audience-specific debunking. From our design reflections, 4 things stand out. First, we found the PvP game works and is contribute to the learning effects. Second, we found freeform input is a double-edged sword. While it makes the game more engaging and increases the replayability of the game, but it relies heavily on players' previous knowledge. Even with restrictions, not all players behaved as effective debunkers. So we suggest a future game could create a clear game context criteria for freeform answers that preserve creativity. And we also found players will respond better to characteristics that's resembling the familiar personalities. So we suggest in the future we could develop more diverse and constrained personas to reach the learning experience. And lastly, we found that currently the game is too long. Participants feel exhausted at the end, so we recommend the future game could be more short. Thanks for your time, and if you would like to know more details, please check our paper. Thank you.